Yo, what's up guys? So today I'm going to be showing off the new Deep Sea Diva archetype in action here. The first duel, I'm going to go ahead and kind of briefly explain the archetype, and then I'm going to got a few other replays. A lot of times though, to be honest, if you're playing any deck that can hand loop your opponent, they're going to be quitting. Now, I know this card is an interesting choice, and I'll get into that in a moment, but let's go ahead and get started and kind of show off what you can do with the deck. So what it really comes down to is opening up with Neptune Abyss or actually searching this card, which is actually very easy to do with the new Deep Sea Aria card. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. I'll kind of explain things as we go along here because this deck is absolutely insane. But you gotta have this card. Obviously, you're gonna max out on it, and you have 3 more cards to search out this card. And on top of that, Diva is another card that if it goes to like even 2 on the next list, it could be really good. But anyways, let's go ahead and get started. And also, like, Double Summon can be considered kind of a more obscure card here, but you can technically go Lapis Dragon to Yugioh. It takes a lot more time, and I'm just gonna try to explain this part really quick here. So anyways, the card that we are going to add with this effect is going to be Diva. So with that Dragoon's effect. And now we're going to go ahead and activate Double Summon. Again, you can go into Yugioh, Lapis Dragon, Megalo, and you can actually still kind of do the same thing, but I'm just going to go ahead and kind of give you a condensed version with this. But keep in mind, you'll have to actually summon Diva, and then with the Yugioh's effect, summon this card, because Diva has to be normal summon for her to get her effect. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and now activate Diva's effect, and here's where things get new here. So there is a newer card over here, the Deep Sea Sentry. So when it is special summon, you're able to actually get the effect of it to send the top 2 cards of your deck to the graveyard. This is random. I didn't set this part up for the video. The only thing I really needed was having this card and like double summon, and pretty much we're going to be going off. And then so now you get to add back Atlantean Dragoons, which is absolutely amazing here. Now, okay, for the sake of the video, I guess I sent 2 of these, but it honestly doesn't really matter that much because we can search out another one anyways. There's not actually supposed to be 3 of these. But anyways, let's go ahead and now continue. So the next thing that we would do is, well, in this instance we already have 2, so we can go ahead and activate the Megalodon's effect, and we're going to go ahead and get rid of the double Dragoons. And remember, this is opening up with 0 Dragoons too. If you open up with Dragoons, oh man, you could go completely off. If you open up Dragoons, or, I mean, technically, Dragoons can actually search off this card anyway. So, really, having this card is not that difficult at all. But here's where it gets very interesting. So, with Megalo, I'm actually playing Sphere now in 2019, or 2020, because that's when we're getting this. So, with Sphere, you're going to be able to zeros on their turn and banish all cards you control after you've already pretty much took out most of their cards anyways. So, now we're going to go ahead and add the... we can add Dueling Glacier, we can add, again, whatever card that you need. Because Aria can actually add whatever other card that you want to add here. So, for the sake of the video, I wanted to go ahead and add Minstrel, and then we can actually add another copy of Deep Sea Sentry. We can actually use this card to search out any level 4 lower sea serpent, which is super broken. Like, this card is absolutely so good. So we're going to go ahead and banish, we can even banish Glacier Dragoons. I usually like to try to keep Dragoons in the graveyard, because there is some recyclability with, of course, your Sentry here. So, before any of this play goes off, you can actually open up the play with Minstrel and getting rid of Sentry here. Because remember, these cards are all searchable through Dragoons, through Deep Sea Aria. So you can go ahead and activate this card's effect. So you discard this and a water monster. Oh gosh, we're running out of time. I gotta go fast. This is why I wanted to do it in here. So now we get to get rid of one card that our opponent has, and since I'm dueling against myself, he's gonna have the exact same cards that I have in my hand. So he's gonna go ahead and need to actually banish some of his, he's going to select a card to banish too. Now these cards will be going back to him during the end phase, but if we go ahead and hit him up with this, they ain't going back. So we can go ahead and actually recycle our own cards if we need the correct waters also in our graveyard. So we can go ahead and utilize this, and then we'll go ahead and have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And again, oh shoot, we're running out of time. Okay, hold on. We got to do this fast, man. So we're going to go ahead and knock the cards out of his hand. And then we're going to go ahead and special summon the IP Masquerena. We got to go fast. And then we're going to go ahead and we can go Mr. Boy. We don't want to use this as material, though. That's like the one important thing. And then we're going to go ahead and set this card and then pass. So basically, our opponent only gets 1 card, and then they draw into 1 card. There's also more things I want to talk about. So let's say he goes ahead and activates this card for the sake of the video. I'll go ahead and try to like play some stuff out on my other screen. So we don't need to do anything here, but let's say he goes ahead and adds a Neptune Abyss, and he's going to try to go off with his combo. gosh, it's still asking me. It's kind of hard. I'm playing on like 2 monitors now. So let's say he goes ahead and goes for like, I'm just gonna say no here. But let's say my opponent goes off, and eventually once my opponent is going to make something, I go ahead and, well, we can go ahead and just, let's click activate this. And then let's say we go ahead and send Dragoons, and then we're gonna be like, oh, okay, hold on. I'm going to activate this as a quick effect. Again, it might not be like the most perfect scenario. I'm just trying to make this video faster. Again, he would like try to make a board, and then we're gonna go ahead and do this. So we'll go ahead and go for the zeros here. And if we want to, we can use that card too. It doesn't really matter that much. But let's say we go ahead and make this, and he goes ahead and sends like, I don't know, this, or adds this card. Again, it doesn't really matter that much. I'm just gonna go ahead and click on a whatever card. The point is, you do this when your opponent is finally going to go ahead and make a play. And then you can go ahead and hit them up with Sphere. Actually, you know what, in this instance, did it like go through all the cards? Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and let's say, here we'll go ahead and hit end, and then it's like ending his main phase. I can actually utilize this card over here, hit him up with Sphere, and go for Taste. It doesn't really matter. All that matters is we're just going to get out a card, and it's going to activate the effect of the zeros. So that banishes everything, and then it goes to my turn, right? And on my turn, I'm going to go ahead and get back this card over here. So now I have this card, and that's after, again, I already looped him for, he was left with 1 card in his hand. I know we activated the Neptibus and he drew 1 for the turn, but when we ended, he had 1 card. Now, I want to go ahead and actually explain like the deck a little bit better now, and also show you guys some more replays here, because like I said, a lot of times when I hit all of the cards out of my opponent's hand, or even if I summon Mooling Glace, a lot of people will just straight up quit, because you guys know, I actually made that video recently just talking about how people just quit in Yu-Gi-Oh! And it all comes down to just like, you know, there's just too many things that go on, and then your opponent is just like, you know, I don't even want to deal with it. So this one is up against Salamander Great over here. And there's a lot of different combos that I was trying out. We even get impermanence. This can actually play through a hand trap. One thing that's important with this archetype, well, it's more so like Mermail Atlantean. You can still use Atlantean's Prince's effect as a cost. So this will actually still let you send the Dragoons to add another card. I was even playing Magical Mallet, because literally all you need is this 1 card and you literally win the game. If any of you guys have played against the Atlantean Orcus deck, it literally was this 1 card and this was game. You literally is a 1 card combo. And so you could go super minus all day. I legitimately played Magical Mallet in there, and at this point, he left the game. I also wanted to mention, Needle Fiber is water, which is really, really cool here, and I didn't even know that. And you can actually still summon your Minstrel over here. Instead of Mistar Boy, I actually do like to go ahead and make this card instead. But there wasn't enough time, and I wanted to go ahead and actually explain that, as well as a bunch of other things, because I know we happen to have the other card, which is like the Burial, which is kind of like a more obscure and or like, what the heck is that? I'll explain that right when we go ahead and talk a little bit more about the deck, when I show you off like my thought process here. Because if any of you guys came into my live stream, you guys know it took me a while to get this deck running, because I was trying out so many other things. Heck, I was even running like the Neos Connector engine, because you can actually activate all of the new deep sea effects, because they are discarded via a water effect. And then on top of that, you get to see your opponent's hand. And also, if you use the Neo Space Connector engine, which is not that like difficult to do, again, you can even activate the Aqua Dolphins effect and actually search out this card via getting Dragoons. Like, it's so good. Another thing I wanted to mention that I didn't even know about until now, you can special summon Lapis Dragon after drawing it after any card effect, because if it's added from the deck to your hand, even if it's during your normal draw phase. That's one thing I thought was interesting. That's why I wanted to include it in here. So that lets me get a free level 5. And like I mentioned before, you can go into the Yugioh play with this card. Or alternatively, because Burial isn't like what I would consider like a good option here, but I did want to go ahead and mention this, because if your opponent sees zeros, they'll keep the cards in their hand, and what you can do is you can basically follow up with another copy of Moonling Glacier. So this was like for another deck idea. I would not recommend playing triple Moonling Glacier. One is all you need, but it was for like another video that I was going to try to do to loop every single card out of their hand and then follow up with the Savage Dragon and the Deep Sea Prima Donna. So this card is supposed to kind of be like Burial here. Let me go ahead and actually show you what I was doing. So the point of this deck is to loop your opponent so they only have one or none cards. So to actually get it to the point where it's none, you would need to use either Neo's Connector or you go Deep Sea Princess after getting rid of like another card. You can also, like I said before, at Neo's Connector with the Aqua Dolphin. This card over here will allow you to get rid of one of your opponent's card. But I also want to mention, you don't have to go for this card's effect super early on. If you happen to have double summon, you can actually utilize a bunch of the other summons and summon Megalodon. This way, this card can actually hit like everything out of their hand. And before this play even starts, what makes this even nastier, which is something that I learned, is with Minstrel over here. I was originally playing 3 and 3 just so I can test out stuff. But if I go ahead and use the Deep Sea Sentry with Minstrel, I can knock 2 cards instantly out of their hand. I can check their entire hand, make sure they don't have Nibiru, because they actually have to banish 1 card with the effect of Minstrel that I get to select, and then Deep Sea Sentry makes it so they have to banish 1 card from their hand. That one, they get to choose whatever they banish. So basically they're losing out on 1 card that they will want to lose out on, or sometimes people don't think that you're going to follow up with this play. Now, I didn't get to show off the Synchro here. Again, there was like kind of like no time, but I did want to mention that this card is really easy to bring out in this deck if you want to. You can actually summon double Nepta Abyss. Via the effect of this can actually bring back another card when you go ahead and tribute your Nepta Abyss, but that can't be activated during turn 1 because you can't tribute to attack twice, because that's the way it works in the TCG. In the OCG, you can actually tribute your cards. It's kind of like the Inzektor Hopper, if any of you guys played back in the day. TCG ruled it at first that you can Inzektor Hopper to attack directly turn 1, and then they re-ruled it and said you can't do it. So I don't know, just ask your head judge if this is a more relevant thing for you if you're actually playing this. It's actually very important though. Several people have ruled it differently, and as far as I'm aware of, in the TCG, you cannot tribute a card with Megalodon to attack twice when it's the first turn. If you can, then this deck becomes way, way, way better, and I'll probably make some new combos here. But I just wanted to explain that Lapis Dragon is a tuner, and it is level 5, which means that you just need to get out another monster over there, and which, you know, this card is pretty easy to come by when you go ahead and Deep Sea Diva into it, and Dragoons will just give you this card for free. So you can instantly go into Deep Sea Princess Prima Donna. So you could just drop this card if you want to, and so what you do instead of going for Burial, you would make Prima Donna over here, and then you actually synchro with this card using a Nepta Abyss, and then you can go right into Savage, and you'll have to make like 1 card first, whatever card that you want to go into. It really doesn't matter too much. Heck, you could actually go into Link Karibo earlier on. I was actually, okay, I'm trying not to make this video half an hour long, but Instant Fusion is actually really insane in the deck, because you can Instant Fusion into Eyes, is it Dash Restrict? Is it 1-1? You make Millennium Eyes Restrict with Instant Fusion, and then your opponent can't respond to anything. You can also wear Arthouth for this card off of your Instant Fusion target. But literally, it becomes just so much better. But basically, you just go for whatever Link monster, and then you link that off into whatever you want to. I recommend this card because negating 3 cards is pretty cool. And then following up with a Savage Dragon after knocking 3. Well, Moon Glacier is going to hit 1, and then this card will hit. Well, technically, in this instance, you'll hit 1 extra card, so you hit 3 cards with that. This card will act as a 4th card hit. This doesn't let you go into 0 unless you open up like Godly with the like Jester Confit. And also want to mention, oh gosh, there's so many things to mention in this video. This is okay. I'll probably follow up with another video on this deck because I'm still like testing right now. But I just want to show you guys it's good. Like this card is super OP. You literally get rid of any water monster at your graveyard. I was even thinking of frogs. There's just so much more to this deck. And I just get excited when I talk about Mermails, man, because it's like, I don't know, I feel like so many times the Mermails, it's just like, how do I OTK my opponent? How can I disrespect him as much as possible? Most times you don't want to go first with Mermails, but now like with the new Deep Sea stuff, like you just loop all their cards except for 1, turn 1, and more likely again they'll be quitting. You guys saw from the replays, people just like left. As soon as you go Glacier or you start doing too much, it's just Yu-Gi-Oh, man. But I was also kind of learning the combos here, but. If you open up 1 for 1, you can do a lot of crazy stuff too. But anyways, yeah. So Prima Donna has this effect. Oh gosh, my cam's in the way. But okay, so what this card does is your opponent can't target a Synchro monster that used this card as material with monster effects. So basically that makes your Savage Dragon even stronger. And then on top of that, you target one of your opponent's water or banished cards. You take one level 4 or lower water monster from your deck and add it to your hand or special summon it. And if you do, they get to add that target back to the hand. So I can go ahead and actually proc the effect of pretty much most of, well, there's only 2 of the newer Deep Sea cards, because this card you don't want to special summon because you'll lose out on the value. It only gets its effect when it's normal summon. But you can also have this card, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you get to target one banished card and shuffle it back into the deck. So when you knock the 2 cards, you activate the first effect if you want to, and then you can alternatively, if you don't need that extra free, Dragoons, which is what you're going to be going for 99% of the time, you can actually use this and have it just go right into this card, because this card's pretty good, and then from there you're good to go. This is negate anything, and on top of that you've already reset 1 card. So this card negates 1, this card gets rid of 1, you've already knocked out 2, and if you go for the Neo Space Connector, that's also leaving them with 1 card. The whole point is to leave them with 1 card, and then when they start they'll obviously draw 1, but at the end of the day, when your opponent only has 1 card and then you go, okay, your turn, they're gonna quit, okay? Anyways, I probably wouldn't recommend the Magical Mallet. It's just more for like video testing purposes. Some of you guys that follow my channel understand. They're like, I try to max out on 3 copies of like everything just so I can show you guys certain things. I probably wouldn't play Burial. It's just for the sake of the video because, well, one, it's kind of time consuming to go through the Sorry Yugioh play, but it is definitely possible. Another thing I wanted to mention, I didn't even open up Teus. If you open up Teus, oh, this becomes even better. If you open up Teus, you can Apollosa and you can do the full combo plus Apollosa, but then at that point you'd be banishing your own card. Is it worth it? Probably not, but you can still do it. Anyways, this card's effect, when you activate it, you want to actually search out this card, Dine. Dine is absolutely just a great card because it's also level 3, which actually helps out with some of the synchroing for Coral Dragon plays. Not that I make this card too often with the Needle Fiber, because unfortunately this card is once per turn during your turn, not when it gets summoned. If this card got its effect when it's summoned, this card would be absolutely amazing. But I wanted to mention a really good play because I was even thinking about going back and playing Lind, because Lind Sphere Dine is like one of the best plays. So if Lind goes away, it special summons this card. If this card is special summoned via the what is it? When this card is added, you can. When this card is special summoned by the effect of Mermail, you can target 1 level 3 or lower Mermail monster in your graveyard and special summon that target. So what this allows you to do is you can go end phase Sphere, go right into Lind, Lind goes away, brings Dine, Dine can bring back Lind, and then Lind will be able to activate its effect again during your turn after you go ahead and have it be destroyed via another effect. I was even contemplating going back and playing Scrap Dragon for some plays. There's a lot of stuff to be played here, but I know I kind of ranted up, but it's a really long topic, and I've been playing Mermails for a while, so there's a lot more plays that we can definitely do with this deck. But I just want to show you guys as an intro that, like, okay, like I said, let's just move these here. We're not actually playing this. It's to show that this card, it's just kind of a replacement for this card at the moment. But I don't think it probably would be played. But originally I was trying to go Burial with this card to actually loop them for everything, but it takes 1 more turn, and there really isn't a point in doing that, because if you loop 3 cards, or honestly, if you even just hit them for, if you hit them for 3 cards and follow up with a Zeros on their turn, and you, like, what else do they even have to get over your stuff? They realistically need a Kaiju, but if they Kaiju you, that leaves them with 1 card. Like, good luck. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. If you have some more suggestions for this deck, definitely let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, I really like the idea of looping them for everything but 1 card. We need to loop them for the extra card. That is the next goal. But only right now, it requires this and Conductor turn 1. But it still lets you do it. But anyways, thanks for tuning in, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, drop a like on it. If you're new here, hit subscribe, turn on that bell if you want to be up to date with the latest Yu-Gi-Oh decks, like the new Deep Sea. I loop you, I rip your hand, and then you just go ahead and quit and go back to Fortnite. But I'll catch you guys in the next one. And if you guys want to send me replays, please send me replays of this. I like this deck, and I think it can get much better. Also, if you're wondering why the heck Jester Confid is here, it lets me go in 2nd, and it lets me go ahead and activate Where Artha. I'm sorry I didn't go over a deck profile. I'll mouse over the cards for any of you guys that do want it really quick. But yeah, dude, this card is so OP. This card is just so nasty. And the fact that you can do this and this card, you can activate this for anything and just check your opponent's hand, and then you go off with your plays. It basically means you're home free. It's like another negate hand trap, another Called by the Grave, if you will. But anyways, I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a good one, and I'm signing out. Peace.